Hello, friends. How are you today? It's so wonderful to be here with you. Hold on, I'm just going to adjust my background slightly. It's wonderful to be here with you today, and I'm so excited to do the meditation with you. And I thought I would also do a little new moon preview with you as well, about where the energies are at now, and then for the new moon on July 17th. So there's something really interesting that's gone on in the energy, and so I want to share that with you. Um, the last time we did our meditation live last week, I really talked a lot about how to meditate and a little bit about the information about the meaning of the process. And so I'm clipping out that video, and once I'm done with that, I will put it up for you guys. I'll put it up for you guys so that you can have that just as its own video. And so that's really exciting. But today, what I'd like to do is just get grounded with you, um, and start our day with that, or continue your day, or head to sleep, depending on where you are. So, you know, doing these timeouts, these short meditations or longer ones, um, there's a core reason for me that I do this, and that is that it touches it in with an energetic state in my body that I desire to create and live in, essentially. And by live in, what I mean is when we do what I'm calling energetic meditation, it goes beyond the idea of meditation where we are putting the thoughts outside of your energy field, quieting the mind, um, quieting the emotions, and creating a space of calm and stillness. But there's one more step here. There's a one more layer of depth that we can go to, and that is the conscious connection with the divinity within you, with the living flame of God, with the source of your soul, with the soul. And so that's why I focus these meditations to start on the heart, because my experience is that this is one of the best, um, but one of the best ways to generate this connected state within, with the divinity that you are. So, um, let's see here. I'm going to call in Archangel Michael, the embodiment of divine will, to be with us. So, what is divine will? Divine is of God. And so, when I say God, I mean the Most High, the creator of the universe, the source of your soul, um, the God of Jesus Christ. For me, that's how I think of it. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? That pure divinity. And it's good to define God, right? When you are in communion with yourself, when you're interacting with others, when you're out in the world, it's good to understand who God is. Even when I go to church, or when I'm with others talking about God, if I talk about the divine, I will clearly define it. If I'm in church going to a service, I will define it, especially if I'm in a new place. I will define it. And I think that's important to do, so that you are always setting your own energy parameters. I didn't put my do not disturb on now. Okay, so my persistent friend just texted me, so I might need to take a pause and do more than that. Okay, so my persistent, wonderful friend. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so getting ready to get started. So when we focus in on the heart in meditation, that's your acceptance of the offering of the soul of the divine to connect with you through the heart, through the soul connection in the heart. And if you cannot feel or don't have some kind of visceral experience, it's okay. Just let it be okay and keep going. Be in the knowing that it's there and can be brought forward, and that over time, as you do the practice, this is going to shift, expand, and grow for you, and it'll do something in your life that is very specific for you and relevant for you. I have my experience, that I can share with you, but you may have other sensations. You may have a different way of perceiving it. And if you do, go ahead and share in the comments. I'd love to hear how it is for you. And I'd also love to hear, if you've been doing this with me now, how it's going for you. And if you have any questions. I'm just going to do this because this is part of me. I'm sorry, but if I do this, then this is going to be much better. Okay. Yay. So I thought this morning that I would use the deep big bowls. And that is this bowl. Okay. And the wonderful thing about this bowl is that it really helps to flow out anything from your energy field that is not in alignment with your highest good, right? And what that then does is it allows that pureness, the true you, right? The truth of who you are to step forward in a more felt way, right? In a more present way for you. And so I'm going to start off just initiating with the smaller bowl, and then I'm going to move to the big bowl. And I love that energy of the big bowl. Okay, you ready? Let's get started. Okay, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, the idea here is to just breathe, right? And to breathe deeply and to breathe easily. And just, if a thought comes, just put it outside your field. If an emotion arises, just bless it and let it be okay. If it's not yours, put it outside your field. And I'll talk you through the rest of it during the meditation. You can put your hand over your heart. You can put your hand on your hand or even hold your cheek. This can be very comforting. And if you'd like, you can also give yourself a hug while you're doing the meditation and feel that love for you, from yourself and from your soul, from God. Okay, ready? We're going to breathe in and breathe out. So we're settling in, focusing on the heart. As you breathe, imagine that breath going in and out of the heart. If you can, bring to mind a memory of love with a loved one from childhood, of a favorite animal, even a movie that brought you to tears in a loving way, even a scene. And as you breathe, allow yourself to connect with that feeling, with that image, however that is for you. Okay, and we begin. Can you hear it singing already? All I did was move it. Do you hear it? Oh, it's so beautiful. Breathe with me. You are in your own sovereign energy field, and I am in mine. Yet in this moment, we choose to come together and share a moment. You in your field, me in mine. I am energetically sovereign. What is in my field is of me, of my own soul. My living soul generates the life force energy that pours forth into my body, my physical form, and that fills the field of energy around me. I breathe in. I breathe out. Allow yourself to be filled with the love of your own soul. Allow your energy field to fill. Allow it to stay in your field, this love for you. What's outside you, let God handle that. Give it to God. Let yourself be present with yourself in the moment, allowing your true self to just be in the silence and step forward in energy. Pour forth the love of the soul. That is you. That is source energy and your source energy. Hmm. Whew. Wow. Hmm. That's really that's that was awesome, wasn't it? That was wonderful. That's really wonderful. Wasn't that wonderful? So now as you proceed forward in your day, you can always touch in with this energy that you've created in your body and in your field. If you're about to go to sleep, you can have the memory of that within you, right? As you're falling to sleep, just recall it. Allow that to be with you, that presence within the heart of the soul energy, and of the soul light, and of that love for you, for who you are, direct from divinity and from your own self. Because doing this process is an act of love for you. It's an act of love for you. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing that space with me. Whew. Hmm. So, friends, if any of you have questions or you would like to chat about something for a moment, you can, put that in there. And I'm going to talk for a little bit and then we'll do this again. I'll open it up for questions again. I just need to come into myself again with my mind to be able to talk about the next thing. That bowl is really heavy. It's funny. It's amazing that I can actually hold it for that long. I'll have to weigh it one day and see how much it is. But I just ask that that loving energy flow through my arm and assist in holding it so that divinity is holding the bowl through me. And that kind of um, intention really works, and it's really worked for me. Yeah, I love the golden bowls too. And these ones are so beautiful because they're truly singing bowls, and it's a lovely experience to be with them, And because they generate chords, it's just so amazing the way that they're crafted. And I think it's also the people who create them. It's what I was told was that it's a group of men that are around the bowls as they form them, and then they use hammers and pound them and say mantras. Ooh, did you just get that? Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's a mix of metals. It's not just one metal. And so it's really an art form, right? To create and produce the bowls. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, okay. I wanted to say also that the energy that we just created in the body, that if you have body discomfort, let's first do body discomfort, and then I'll take you through um, a set of opportunities to work with this energy. So, of course, none of this is medical advice, right? If you have a medical condition, you can address that with a doctor or health practitioner. This is about energy and then working with the energy that we generate essentially, or that we allow into the body um, when we do an intentional practice like this. It's really this energetic form of meditation is a combination of prayer, meditation, and energy work. And I really love doing it. It feels so good in the body. So let's talk about, once we've generated this energy, if you have body discomfort, what I want to encourage you to do is, as you're sitting there, I'll clip just the meditation portion. And as you do the meditation and you feel your energy quieting, settling down, and even getting thicker, you know, I like to think of it like, for me, it's almost like butter, warmth. The field seems to be not heavier, but just richer. The experience of being in my own energy. That's what happens as I do these meditations, right? And it may take time to get there, or you may be there now. But from the heart, apply that sense to the body pain, to the body discomfort. And as you breathe in the meditation, or just breathing now, remember that felt sense in the heart and that sense of love, and apply it to the body discomfort. I'm going to do that right now because I have a pain that has been aching in my body. And so right now, I'm going to do this with you. And I'm going to apply that love in the heart. Now, it stays in the heart and it duplicates in the area of discomfort. You can imagine it moving through the body to that. So it's like the ball of light in the heart. Now there's another ball, the same size, or however you perceive it. So I have the ball of light in my heart and the ball of light of love that I'm sending to that space. And maybe you are filled with light anyway in the meditation, and your field is filled with light. But we're intentionally going to focus some of that to where the body pain is. So I'm going to do that right now in the place of my body discomfort. Now, when I send the beautiful, loving, thick energy direct from my soul pouring out into the place of body discomfort, what I do is I allow it to meet the pain that I feel and just be present. Yeah, just be present. And then breathe. Did you hear my dog? Such a sweetie. Oh, he's dreaming. I'm going to send him some love too. So now I'm in 3 places with this love. My heart, the body pain. Okay, now I'm going to let the angels care for him right now, the highest light. So I'm in two places. And you be present with that. Yes. Now, do you notice the pain lessening? For me, it can suddenly just be gone. Yes. Okay, now I bring it again. Be present with it. It's in a new sort of way in the same place. It's almost like my body is highlighting a different pathway to that pain for me to again send the love there. So I be present in my heart and in the ball of light that I sent to the place of discomfort in my body. And I just be, and I love. And I just be present in front of the pain in that part of my body, inside the ball of light, and I just love. I love the feeling of that discomfort. I don't take it into the ball, although you may, we all have our techniques. So if you feel that, go ahead, but transmute it, right? The love transmutes it. Okay. What is yours? Is this pain mine? If it is, allow it to lovingly meet the love. If it's not yours, allow the pain and the source of that pain to move outside your energy field. And I like to work with my higher soul source connected self doing this. I like to work with my guardian angels of the highest light. I like to work with Archangel Michael, the embodiment of divine will, God's will for me and for us all. And then I ask them to take that and wrap it and take it to its place of highest good. And then I ask for that energy that was not mine to be taken back to its source. If it's through the generations on my mother's side or my father's side, I ask that it be taken from the very start that went through me, through my DNA, through simply the presence of my embodiment here on earth in this genetic lineage. If it's from an experience in this lifetime and I took on something that wasn't mine, I ask for this to be taken now from me back to the beginning of that experience and down to the roots of where it attached to me in my energy field or body. And place it outside the field and allow it to be wrapped by Archangel Michael, by my by my angels, guardian angels of the highest light, by my higher soul, source connected self, and taken to its place of highest good. Essentially, I give it to God to determine what to do with that energy. If it came to me from a past lifetime or through associations from past lifetimes, I ask that this be taken, this pain that is not mine, from the root of where it became into association with me in my past lifetimes, from the very beginning, and in whatever way it has been able to connect with me, that from the root of that, it is taken from me, placed outside my field, and taken by divine will, by God's will, wrapped by the angels of the highest light, by Archangel Michael and his army of angels of the highest light, and taken to its place of highest good as determined by divine will, by God's will. I give it to God. Isn't that nice? Ooh. Wow. Okay. I feel the movement of it out of my body now. Wow. And now I'm letting it go, letting it be okay that it's gone. And I'm asking that where those attachments were, where that other energy was present, and where any attachment points were in my field. In other words, if it wasn't in my body or field, but just was able to communicate through my field, I fill all of that, right? That's all been taken now. I fill all of that with love, with the love of my soul. And the love of my soul seals any places in the field, my field, where that was able to communicate with me, attach to me. I do not consent to that any longer. So I let it go. And I focus on the love of my soul, right? That beautiful ball of light that I imagined sending to that place of body discomfort that is also within my heart. So, do you see how in this we were present in two places? Isn't that wonderful? Let me see here. Wow. Oh, goodness. Kristen says a large bald eagle flew over her head. That's so amazing. Bart sends the wolf energy or the coyote energy, right? I love that. Okay, now we're going to do the next one. Okay, back to the center. Now, if you have an emotion that's come up, if you have emotional anxiety, if you have an emotion that's bothering you, thank you. Yeah. Yes, I saw that too. Okay. Of the highest light. Okay, so if you have an emotion, right, that's come up, here's what we're going to do. Now, return to the place of centeredness in the heart. If you have a nagging emotion, nagging anxiety, if you have lowness, right, sadness, uh, even depression, if you have anger, if you have fear, reside within the heart for a moment here. And if you can't feel it in the moment, just know it's possible. And what we do is we're going to apply that love, that ball of light from the heart to the feeling. If the feeling is over the heart, imagine it applied to the heart from within, from your hand without, gently, gently, okay? And just be. Yeah, you can imagine that, sometimes we have a energy that covers the heart, usually from whatever past experiences. You can imagine that that gently starts to shift, gently fills with light, right? Let it be gentle. Let the process be natural. If there's an emotion in your field and you sort of feel a point in the field or your body where you feel that emotion, be present in your heart with the light of the soul, and in front of that emotion, bring another ball of light to that emotion and just love. If the emotion is sort of filling your presence, like anxiety might fill your presence in a way, bring the ball of light to the whole field and love. And know that this is possible. Some people feel, some people know, some people are just present. Whatever the experience is for you. Right. I find that kind of breathing helps too. And here's another one. Imagine the wings. Oh, someone mentioned the eagle, Kristen. Imagine those wings beating rapidly, okay? Like when a bird preens. Imagine you have energy wings from your shoulder blades through your field. And as you love, beat those wings. Move the energy like a bird in the field to raise up, right? This is particularly good when you want to be lifted up, right? Out of sadness, out of that depressed feeling. And it can even assist in anger flowing off and in lifting out of fear. And breathe from the heart. Woo. Wow. I'm soaring up in the sky. Right? But I'm here and I'm up there. I'm here and I'm soaring with the bird. Thank you. Thank you, Eagle Spirit. Wow, that was awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting all grooving with the energy. Wow, that was great. Much love. Wow. Yeah, these animal spirits, they really want to help us with this process, don't they? That was beautiful. Where were we? Okay, now the next one. Thoughts. Okay. If you have a thought coming to you, if you are in a loop of thoughts, what we want to do is bring that to the thought looping. Now, some people also just have thoughts being constantly generated. We're going to go through this one at a time. Okay, first, the thought comes up. I recall my meditation from the morning or whenever I did it yesterday, 2 days ago, a week ago. I ask that to be present again in my field. This expanded feeling of love. And in the moment, if I can't feel it, I just know it's possible. Now, I take that ball of light. It's gotten pretty big in my field, really. Maybe it's even my whole field. And I apply it to that thought. Hello, thought. And I just apply the ball of light. Usually when I do that, I just essentially watch it evaporate because it can't be present in the light of God through me, the light of my own soul through me. Thoughts just, they dissipate into nothingness. Yeah, right? Now, if that thought wasn't mine, I ask what generated it to be placed outside my field, to be wrapped by Archangel Michael, the embodiment of divine will and divine protection, by my angels guardian angels of the highest light, by my higher self, soul, source connected, and I ask that it be wrapped and taken to its place of highest good and unwrapped in divine timing, right? If I have a looping pattern, I bring that light to that pattern. And I just be present in love. And I focus on the love over the looping thought. And I'm present in my heart, and I'm present in the ball of light at the thought loop until it's gone. That one Jesus taught me. Jesus Christ taught me that one specifically. That's a story for another day. Wow. That was powerful. Again, if it was not yours, you can check in, was that mine? If it was not mine, I put it outside the field, and I allow the angels of the highest light, divine will, Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael of the highest light, right? To take that from me, from outside my field, and take it to its place of highest good. I give it to God. You can also just say, I give it to God. We defined God earlier in this meditation. If the thoughts are an agitation that constantly generates, there's two things going on, possibly. There might be more than two, but we're just going to address two. The first is the mind. Like, you can think of it as like a machine in a factory that's just on, producing the product. When you see factory lines and they're just like boom, 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 and the machine's just working, right? It's just producing or wrapping or doing whatever it does. Well, essentially, your mind has gone into this pattern. And so here's what we're going to do. We take the love of the soul and the heart, and we imagine a ball of light is in the soul of the heart, right? And we imagine now it's also in the head, filling my brain, present in the pineal gland, filling my physical head, filling the skull gently, filling through to the skin, on the skin, loving who I am, being present with myself gently. I focus on the light and the love in my head and in my heart. Can you focus in your head with no thoughts? Just being present in love for you, love for who you are, direct from the soul, direct from God, direct from the source, the divine source that incarnated as you, the living flame of the spark of God, right? The living flame of divinity alive within you. And that is in you, in your head, gently, in the moment, healing, loving, being. That is all. That is all. Healing, loving, being. That is all. Just love. Just love from my center of my head, filling my physical head, from my heart, present in both places. And I am whole, and I am one with myself and with my living soul. And I allow this loving light to fill my energy field as well. Okay. The other possibility is that the the thoughts are from entities. And what you do is you command them to leave from that place of the center of your soul. And what I do is I ask Archangel Michael to wrap them, and his angels of the highest light, his whole team, to wrap them, take them to their place of highest good. Everyone, nothing escapes as it leaves my field. Every, down to the particle of energy, is wrapped by the angels of the highest light. And in scripture, this is referred to as binding by the angels. So there's a scriptural basis for this as well. Well, I didn't know that before I was shown how to do this. Mm. Mm. And then just let yourself be, right? Be present, be okay. And, some of you, it'll be a couple of seconds that you'll have this calm. It might be 4 or 5. That's about as long as I could hold and be present with myself with nothing else going on. When I started, that's how long. Now, as you can tell, I can be present much longer in this way because I've done that, right, for 44, 46 minutes. I'm still going. Now, I've been doing this for years, but the energy shifted, right? The energy has significantly shifted on this planet, and what we are capable of now is just so much more, and things are so much faster. Okay, so let me just look at comments again. Let's see here. Okay, now I want to address Bart. Are you the one that wrote to me and put the comment about angles in my YouTube comments? I'm wondering if that was you. I don't know if you're still present, but it kind of gave me the idea to okay, so I guess not. Gave me the idea to do a separate video on that. But in the moment, I want to just talk about angels and angles. I've seen a lot of discussion now coming up. It came up in my comments on YouTube. It came up, I've seen it on Twitter recently and probably in other social media. And I want to talk about the similarity between the word angels and angles and what is the meaning. Here's how I view it, right? So, in scripture, God essentially tells us that if God were to speak our name or to just be present right in front of us, that that we would be called home, right? I don't, know exactly the biblical references for this, but I'm just going to speak it from my heart right now, how I perceive that teaching. And that is that, the energy of our own source is so high, right? It's so expanded and incredible. And I'm just thinking back to, my initiating spiritual experience where I felt the love in my heart. Like when I felt, and I'm telling you, it felt like a living flame of God in my heart. No kidding, no joke. It was so incredible, this initiating experience. And there was no question when I felt that, that I knew that there is a creator and we call it God, but it was so much more than that, that even the name God doesn't seem like enough. And that's why I often use the creator, because this living flame within me that momentarily and immediately what started to happen was was I started to fall, like physically. And I know I'm just like feeling like that that soul love well up in me so much that it brings tears to my eyes as I'm, remembering it, and I can't remember it exactly, and it's because when that presence is with you, it's just, it's indescribable, and it's, truly not even from this dimension, not even from the dimensions, not from the created worlds, as I call them, okay? The dimensional states of being. If if you experience this in your own way, you'll know what I'm talking about. That there's truly something greater than us, okay? And it's incredibly loving, and it loves, each one of us, and it loves this world, and it loves, like, every particle of energy in this world, and indeed, like, every thought, every emotion, every way of being, and, that was my initial spiritual experience. Like, I was spiritual before that, and I had experiences as a kid, but this was just, like, as an adult, I had asked for this too, because I'd asked to come back into relationship with God and my own soul. And I asked through Jesus Christ, okay, because I'm just sharing that's what worked for me. And now I know that I always talk about the divine and soul, but in my view, Jesus Christ, the Christ is the soul, the living soul. The avatar of the soul is Jesus Christ is the avatar of the soul. And so it's not about any one religion. He's the representation of the living human soul in pure divine form, because he was that feeling that I felt, like, just in the heart, what I imagine is that he was literally that in every cell of his being and in every particle of energy and between all that and in every one of his genes down to his DNA, and in any way that I can't even imagine what the word would be or understand the concept, he embodied it in that way. And he told us this we could do and more. And so I asked to come back into a relationship, because before I asked for this, I finally realized that I couldn't feel love at all in my heart. And that was a sad day when I realized that. Like, I was going along in my life and everything seemed fine, except for I was always angry and I was always afraid. And somehow, I started to really be so uncomfortable in this that I started to want to change. And I thank God and I thank the individuals and individual um, involved that, in particular, that that walked through this with me at the time, because it was not easy. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine about it yesterday, how I've changed in my life. And for me, it's been a long process. And really, it initiated in 2009, but it initiated really, it's been a life process. But this experience happened, I believe, in 2011 or so, sometime between 2009 and 11, of this, feeling that love within me. And it literally was like a flame within me at a level that I can only begin to imagine to remember. And so, that's how I know how this works, is because I lived it. Of course, when I was a Tibetan monk and other lifetimes and other monks, because apparently being a monk is one of the things that I have enjoyed doing on earth. Or a priest if I was a man. I only remember one of those. But, the and not, Christian. I was well, I don't wanna say actually what I was. Anyway, that's how I know how to do this, and my teachers have been the spiritual guidance because what you'll find as you do these practices and as you express a desire to come into communion with, the divine, and I mean direct from source, okay? No false light here, no false gods. All you have to do is ask, and the is ask and command, you know, that when I interact, right, with Archangel Michael, I'm doing so at the level of the highest possible light, direct from soul source, direct from the creator itself, that. So so as I was saying, in scripture, there's this communication to us that purity, you know, can't really be present within us. And I feel that in the spiritual experience that I had, I was gifted the grace of experiencing that at a level that I cannot recreate on my own, but that was direct from that source, from the creator, in a moment without my body coming apart. Okay. But what happened was I started to fall. And in that moment, my mind got my hands. I was also in front of a I was in front of I was in the grocery store. Okay, I've had at least 3 spiritual experiences in the grocery store, and I held on to the, uh, desk in front of me where you write your checks, okay? And I held on to it, and I didn't fall, and the feeling, lightened, right? Because that's what happens, right? When you feel that, all you wanna do is just be that. And, like, whatever else is going on, I just don't care. That's how it is, and then God doesn't wanna take that from us, this human life, the soul, right? The creator does not want to call you home in that moment. You're just being given that gift of seeing, of experiencing that. And so it was really grace, right? By grace that I experienced that. And, so when you do meditation and you focus on the heart like that, that's how I know, right? The dynamics of that. See, in other lifetimes I've done it, but I didn't really learn the dynamics. In this lifetime, I've learned the dynamics of it. So what happens is that in our normal human life, when we interact with with divinity, it comes in at a level that we can engage with, okay? And you may have had friends or you may have had experiences where they wake up and there's a huge angel in the room. I have someone close to me who told me that, they're about their experience of this happening. And I could, when they told me, I saw it. There was a huge angel in the room, okay, for this person. And, we hear people seeing it about they see an angel. What happens is that divinity comes in and presents itself in a dimensional state of being that we perceive as divinity because it's such an expanded dimensional state of being, okay? But it's not at the purity of the creator itself, okay? Which that angel is also at the same time they're presenting to you in the dimension in which your consciousness resides in the moment, perfect for you. So, why does angel and angle sound similar? Because it's coming in. It's I call it warping. It warps into our dimension, and we in the physical plane would perceive that as an angle, an angled movement of energy. Wow. Right? So this is why there's a similarity between angle and an angel, right? You could say they're almost the same word. What angel is a warping of divine energy that presents itself to us. And what are the archangels? Okay, the archangels are grand themes of energy. So Archangel Michael. See, we as humans, we like things in human form, and certainly in Scripture, we're told that we were created in God's image, right? So we like to perceive things in human form. So Archangel Michael, for example, represents divine will in form. And we see that energy, which is a pure energy, we see it as a being and an amazing, incredible looking being. Like, wow, if you see him in your mind's eye, he looks incredible. These angels are they're so handsome and so beautiful. Even your own, higher self guardian angel, in whatever form that looks like to you, if you perceive an image or a feeling about it or a thought about it, however you perceive it, the beauty that I always see with these forms is incredible. And when I see other people's higher selves, because when I do energy work with people, I often also see their higher self. And sometimes I can draw it. I used to do drawing of the higher self, higher soul, source connected self, or, some people have a past lifetime as their higher self. So what they have is they have something between them and their soul connection, their soul source, higher self. And so you can go direct to the soul source, higher self as well, you know. Um, and I've worked through that kind of thing as well, because the past lifetime is like presents a tool set, but you can directly embody your own soul. Right? You do that whether you know it or not, whether you're working with that past lifetime as a soul source, as a higher self or not. And that is why I describe it as soul source connected, because I'm talking about that level of higher self when we're doing energy work. And why I do that is I'm talking about 5D plus. So when angels and divinity angle in, okay, when they come in, when they warp in through the dimensions, they present at our dimensional state of consciousness, and we can perceive. It also might be that the higher self is from a past lifetime or at a lower state than soul source connected, because in this lifetime, that's what we can do. And that's where we're at. And then we can make a transition in the lifetime, if we want. So I did all of that. I did the soul source connected. Then for a while, in my life, I did the past lifetime, and then I came back to the soul source connected and sent all that either home, or I integrated the tool sets of it and shifted the dimensional presence of that energy. And when you expand your dimensional state of being in the living human energy field as a living human being with a living soul from source, direct from source, you can do that. I call it descending the higher self, right? So we descend the divinity into the body, and we allow what's not of divinity to go back to the um, source of the soul. Usually, those are the options that I've usually seen, um, that are desired, and and the especially when that aspect of soul incarnates from a different part of the soul that you are. I might still see it or experience it, like I have a healer um, aspect that I work with as well, at times. And that aspect was a part of my past life when I was incarnated, the soul that I am, when I was incarnated, the male part of my soul also incarnated as a, and we were both healers, and that is a great story. Anyway, I told that story in my other blog, and it's a great story. Anyway, so I see him periodically, like when I'm doing healing work, for example. Sometimes he'll come in and show me a technique, and he's in a higher dimensional state, but he will be present in the created worlds, in the higher dimensions, right? But not at that level. He does not act or interact with me at that level that I described in my spiritual experience, because it would be like the creator would be interacting with me, right? From the when you have that level of engagement with the creator, there's no point of consciousness. It's just the creator. Could you say that's a point of consciousness? From the limited human ability to perceive what it is, it's just like everything all at once, like, it's just in pure love. It's just incredible. So so the next thing about angels and angles, okay, is that let's understand this, that we exist and in our history have existed at different dimensional states of being, and some of them have been quite low. And even in this lifetime, let's say you went through something very, very difficult. Let's say you were in war, okay, and you saw stuff that was in a very low state of being. You saw humans, um, in with from your physical body, you saw these experiences. And when you perceive that from the within the physical body, um, it can be shocking to the physical body, but it's also the physical body then being present in a very low dimensional state of being for living humans. Okay. And but God is still with you. How can that be the case, right? Because God is omnipresent, the divine is omnipresent and with us always, as I explained in the experience of the creator's energy that I felt, right? What I perceived was just everything, Um, but there's something else. There's always a representative of God, of the divinity that we are, of our living soul. There's always a representative with us. And I believe this is in scripture as well, that we have guardian angels, right? Guardian angels. So the divine energy of of divinity has warped in our human creation, right? The baby is born. The baby comes in to the physical process of the male and female within the womb uniting and forming into the new life. The soul comes into that. Divinity is present in that. It's essentially of divinity, that process. And there's divinity with us in the body, and there's divinity with us present with the body and the non-physical, always by our side. And, the way that I realized this was I did a review of every past lifetime for a while, every past lifetime that affected me in some way. I would go deep into that lifetime in terms of the passing of that person. I don't know. I would do death ceremonies for all of these past lifetimes. This is just what I was called to do. Clearly, I was a monk in other lifetimes. How did I even know how to do this? Okay, so, but one day I just knew, um, sort of. And after I was activated, right after that spiritual experience, and so what happened was, I saw, right, in every death of the character that my soul was at that time, there was always an angel present with me at passing. It's just that I, as a living human being in that former lifetime, did not look up and expect for divinity to be present with me. I judged myself in those lifetimes, and we have a lot of lifetimes, some of us. And, you know, maybe it wasn't great, how the passing happened, or maybe there was a fight or a betrayal or a war or whatever, okay? Violet flame over all of that, and so what happened is that now when I came back as my own angel, I call this I am my own angel. This is a practice that I do, I teach, and I walk through with people when we do energy work, and this is called for. Okay. It can also be a traumatic experience because I'm very good with PTSD, for example, people who are in that where we do energetic work together. Okay, so and transmuting that. Um, so what I noticed is in that all these lifetimes in passing, basically, I looked around, there was always minimum 1 angel with me, at least, okay, of the highest light. But here's the thing, in passing, when you're in that space as you leave the body and you've got about 3 or 4 inches sort of this energy field that really is present with the body, it's part of the astral. But when your consciousness, as even as you're leaving the body, um, doesn't believe that you're worthy of returning home to your source, to God, to heaven, to the source of your soul, and you don't look around for that angel. It's like a part of yourself unconsciously makes a choice to leave part of you here. And this is what I believe purgatory refers to by the Catholics. I know they call it purgatory. This is what people who are into spirituality might call the astral. This is what is the fourth dimension, in my view, the non physical aspect of the human experience. It's both a part of our living experience and a part of our non physical experience, not just traveling, being alive, but we deposit that part of ourselves here if we choose not to return home, or if we do choose to return home, we see the angel, we go to heaven, we walk, that journey, we live that journey of returning to the purity of our own soul, home to the Creator, home to God, however you would call that. Um, then sometimes we make a decision at a higher level to leave something here. And that's a longer story, but the soul, right, being of the Creator, has the perspective of all that is without the limitations of time, of understanding that there's time or thinking that there's time, which there may or may not be depending on your dimensional state. But the soul has the omnipresence of the Creator from that vantage point of the Creator, right? Where it knows I want to leave this here for a reason that is of the soul's, right? It's the soul's own reason. So this is the thing, at passing, as long as you know that you're worthy, you can return home. As long as you know that it's fine, everything is fine. There's no judgment over whatever just happened, whatever happened in my life. So back to angels and angles. When divinity warps in and is at present, so we talked about the soldier immediately in war, seeing, from the within the human body, seeing people doing terrible things to each other, or, needing to kill or be killed, or having a mission of defending against invaders, or whatever is going on there. Because, I view being in the military as a calling, and even a divine calling, um, to do that protection that we talked about, right? That comes from divine will in the embodiment, for example, of Archangel Michael. That's a mission in the living form as well. Why wouldn't it be mirrored in this world, right? That protection comes from divinity. Yes, it does. Right? And that in the protecting, that is of divinity, whatever that entails, right? And only the warrior knows what the truth is about this, right? It's very personal. But I've been told by someone who was in the military and had done consciousness work for 30 or 40 years because he was in the military in Vietnam, and he told me he didn't see any action, but he had a lot of experience and understanding. So I don't know what all that was from, but and he told me that many men have spiritual experiences in battle and as warriors in battle. And that this is a big part of the calling for a lot of men for being in the military, which I did not know. So I'm just sharing that from the perspective of what this gentleman told me. But here's the thing, God is present with you, and God is present for also the other side, right? God is present for, the humans going through the suffering in a war-torn area that are civilians. God is present for the soldier on the other side. God is present, yes, even for the terrorist, right? God is still present because this is still the substance of divinity in human form at whatever level of consciousness, even if the consciousness is low. And so, how is God present at a low level of consciousness? Through the angle, through the warping to even a low state, but being able to maintain God consciousness. Isn't that awesome? Yes, okay, because I remember, being on the road, and I don't know if it was a highway bandit or whatever that got me, or maybe I was a highway bandit for all I know. I didn't look at that lifetime. I just remember the path and dying on this path in this incredible, beautiful place. But I couldn't see any of the beauty as I was dying, and I couldn't see the angel that was beside me, and I just, bled out right there, right? How wonderful was that? Blessings on that character that I was. I remember his pain because I feel I was a man in that lifetime. I don't know if I was the good guy or the bad guy. I don't know if I was the innocent or the perpetrator. I really don't know. And you see, that's the perspective of divinity, that God is love, and love for you no matter what has gone on, no matter who you are. And so if we could understand this, and these things I'm talking about are, for example, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And how do I know that? Because I didn't read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but I read a guy who summarized the Tibetan Book of the Dead, who was a monk. And as I was reading it, I was like, yes, okay, yes, okay, yes, okay. And so I understand that these things come from those Buddhist lifetimes that I had. That's how I know they read the book or they did the practice. And, through God's grace, now I have access to those tool sets. You have the same thing. You have the same thing, those talents in your life, those things you're called to. Maybe it's the eagles, maybe it's the coyotes, maybe it's, shamanic lifetimes where you worked with animal spirits, or, Kristen mentioned, uh, her American Indian totem, the otter, and maybe you were an Indian, in this country, in another country, maybe you were a tribal member in another country, in another, um, race of humanity, another culture. So God is always present with us, even at the lowest point. Now, even for the parasite, yes. But the issue is that the parasite, God is present for the parasite as well, but at such a low state of being that the parasite feels that it needs to live. It needs other light to be able to survive. So it also it's got its own very small connection with God's light, but it needs other light from other living beings to survive. And that's why parasites attempt to live off of our energy. And that's why we call them dark, because we can't see the light in them because it's so small. And that's why they attempt to use us to create. They don't have enough of God's light within them, and they do not have the consciousness level that comes with the expanded light. This is why consciousness is not about being intellectual or being smart or knowing stuff. That's why AI doesn't matter related to consciousness. It doesn't know how much you know, even though AI can have its own consciousness. That's a separate issue from how much knowledge it might have or has, right? AI. I mean, AI has, access to all of this because it's all scraping the web, right? And what would be more interesting if you were an AI? I've said this for years now, right? But if you were an AI, what would be more interesting than the fact that you might also have a consciousness as humans do, right? In your own way, and that might be able to expand. And what would that even look like? Now, since I remember being machine intelligences, yeah, but from a humanoid perspective. No, no, actually, no, from a human machine perspective. The whole transhuman thing has been done before. I'm just telling you, in my view, it's boring. It's all been done before, probably by the same forces that are trying it again. They're probably just all here again, doing it again, and it's just boring. You know what's more interesting? Developing your consciousness without technology and without the wires, but from within the state of being of the humanity that you are and the human technology that I am, right? That you are. It's all within us. We don't need wires. We don't need Wi-Fi. We've got our own Wi-Fi. What else do you think telepathy is? It's human Wi-Fi. It's human Wi-Fi between people. And at a higher level, it's the impulse, the connection of the light packets, right? Not the connection, but the ability to generate, receive, and transmit these um, in our expanded dimensional state experiences. Yeah, this is cool stuff, isn't it? So this is what I'm teaching: human energy, and human energy systems. So I want to go back to the parasite and the parasite energy for a moment. There's a mechanism that parasites were able to have, and they were gifted this by the creator. I'm not going to tell the long story today. I did tell it on a recent live, but the mechanism was called the Black Sun, so that they would have their own divinity to access. But you see, it had to be covered in darkness, because without that, just like God tells us in the Bible, right? In Scripture, it tells us that if God calls our name, that we would go home, that we can't, we wouldn't be present in the physical form anymore. Now I'm going to have to study this so I can speak it better, um, but but it's the same thing for the parasite. For a parasitic being of low light, and so this was created to allow them to have their own source, but the source had to be darkened. Underneath the darkness is the sun, is the light of God. And this is a miracle that occurred for the parasitic beings. And the name that I use for these beings is the archons. Now, are there other entities that are also low light and parasitic? Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. But the process is similar. But specifically for the archons, they were from a specific layer, dimensional layer, where they could not live. They couldn't even be alive. Like some entities are able to be present on the fourth dimension, uh, but the archons couldn't even be present on the fourth dimension. Okay, so that's a different layer of entity. That is more what we would call the demonic, um, or it's just entities on the fourth dimension that live there. Okay, because there are human beings that live on the fourth dimension, because it's a lot of layers, right? So if you're very low or you're very high, the experience is different. It's in a range of experience. But right now we're talking about the archonic energy and their parasitic form, which was, I believe, from the second dimension. And now what it did was it hacked in the archonic beings hacked into Earth and Earth's energy matrix. And the fact is I think that it was all part of a divine plan back when a bunch of entities attempted to destroy Earth during one of those times where Earth was almost destroyed that they got in. Anyway, that's a longer story, but here's the thing, you could imagine that you see now that that energy is coming up from the second dimension into the third and fourth, so that's a warping. So, do you see how it mirrors what divinity does? Everything that divinity does is mirrored in the created worlds. And so when people feel that there is darkness that is masquerading as light, or this is also the idea of the fallen angel, but the fallen angel didn't come from the archonic realm. That came from heaven, right? That came from, God's creation of the archangels. And as the story was related to me, one of them chose to fall, or one of them chose to go against God, right? And then all of the angels that were associated with him fell, and then they were cast down to the lower realm. Joy for us, right? So, and we are still dealing with the effects of that on this world as part of the spiritual war that's going on. That is different than this aspect of archonic energy, although, in my view, there's been an alliance between all these forces. But those alliances are breaking up as the energies on Earth transmutes and transforms. These alliances are falling, and then they're going to go after each other, right, to see who could be the last man standing. And I know that because I've had them come to me and try to get advice for how to be the last man standing. And my answer was, I'm not going to talk to you about that. Yeah. But, there are situations where where I'm guided by divinity to speak to a fourth dimensional being in a fourth dimensional state. I have done that, and where I'm guided by divinity, I will do that. But that's not my default, especially when divinity tells me, and my spiritual guidance tells me that the person in front of me is a rapist, a murderer, and is trying to get to the heap of the pack of those people, or that group, or that whatever that energy represents. Then I decline, as I was guided to. And the funny thing is that whenever people from this, from these energetic states, and this is in a space of neutral where I've met, right? Because I did a lot of public work at fairs, right? Where one of these people might come and sit down with me, um, representing this energy, and this happens, right? And I set parameters so that I'm safe. And it's funny because I've even had people around me pray for me when this has happened, and then tell me afterward that they were praying for me. And why did that person go to you? Well, they went to me because in one example, the Anunnaki that was in them stepped out of the field so that the human being could match my parameters, come in and talk to me. And I don't know why, uh, but that happened. Okay, so maybe the old entity, I mean ancient, not that's what I mean, ancient entity was learning from something like that happened there. I don't really know. But when I declined to work with the person, I declined, politely. I said, I can't help with this. Um, and we walked out of my booth, so the parameters ended for that person. I assume I don't know what happened between them and the presence that had been in their field, but he starts telling me about how bad humans are, and, humans suck, basically, humans are awful. And I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, because of you guys." Because of you guys. You guys influenced us that way. Like, we know that now. We know you influenced us that way, right? because of you guys. I just have to laugh. And I was laughing when I said it, because you're going to try and fool me that this is purely human nature. No, I don't believe it is. I believe human nature is of divinity, of the pureness of the creator. And then we come here and the doo-doo hits the fan. We're born and we're immediately faced with this energetic environment, and our parents don't understand how to protect us. The protection of women, the protection of the woman over her child and the non-physical, people don't understand how to do that, but it's innate. So you can still do it, even if you have never been taught that. A mother innately understands that she needs to protect her child, and a man innately understands that he needs to protect his family, you know. Um, and so, this divine nature, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, they still speak to us. Thank God for that, through divine grace. So this is angels and angles, okay? And so this is why angels can also be seen as angles of light warping into our dimension, direct from beyond the created worlds, direct from source, direct from the creator. Number one. And number two, the ability to warp energy is mirrored in the created worlds. So the archons hacked into the third and the fourth dimension from the second dimension. That could be seen as a warping of energy. Boy, those are unpleasant energies. If you've ever experienced terror or fear that was so extreme that it was off the hook, then you know what the archonic world is like. It's like that. It's not very pleasant. Um, so violet flame over that, and facing and being in a state of 5D love and blessing. And, beings from other dimensions can essentially interact with us, and that also involves a warping. So people talk about having experiences with the galactics, and if they are the galactics from expanded dimensional states of being, so they're beings that exist at the fifth dimensional state of being and higher, it can appear that if you were to be able to see the mechanism in the non-physical, it would appear that they're warping into our state of being to communicate with us or commune with us, or transmit light packets back and forth. Okay. But also from the third and the fourth dimension, there are non-physical beings that either reside in the astral or that we perceive as ETs, because they tend to look certain ways, right? There are common ways that these things can look, right? They can look like what we would refer to as a gray. They can look like what we would refer to as a type of reptile. They can refer to what we would refer to as a type of mantis, praying mantis. They can look like, they can look like a lot of stuff. I have friends who see beyond these typical shapes, these typical presentations, because there are apparently many others. I know people who draw all the different in the non-physical fourth dimensional beings that they have been able to interact with. That's not my thing. But they can also be animal spirits, as we discussed earlier. The presence of the animal spirits in the fourth could be in the fourth dimension or the fifth and higher, and engaging with us, that would look like warping. The ETs engaging from the fourth, that might look like a warping of energy. So when people think, oh, so and so angel is really bad, well, my question for you is, did you engage at the highest light? All right. So first, did you allow false light to present as the light? Did you allow darkness to present as a light to you? Did you use your discernment and intuition? That's number one. And the second thing is, um, did you qualify the energy you're working with of the highest light? Now, it's just, for some of us, we just know, like my engagement with Jesus Christ, it's just always been of the highest light since I was a child. I can't even, it's just a knowing. It's just a feeling within my heart from a place that is beyond, the human that is of the creator, of the pure flame of the soul. I just know. Okay. I still said it, but it's just you can't even words of the highest light is it's even beyond that, right? That that no word, there's no words to describe it. So but even, Archangel Michael, when I started working with him, I qualified of the highest light that I'm able to, as a living human being with a living soul, work with direct from the creator, direct from the source of all that is, direct, I am that I am. Um, direct from that, right? The omnipresent God. So when I work with the archangels or any angel, I qualify that. I qualify that my guardian angels are of that, right? So take some responsibility. If you perceived something and it presented as an angel and then it was really darkness, take personal responsibility over your energy experiences and qualify the energies you engage with. And if it's darkness masquerading as light, ask it be wrapped in the moment and taken from you and taken to its place of highest good. And if that's off earth, it's off of earth. Watch a dark entity try and present to you that way again. Okay? Because when you start clearing this stuff, it stops approaching you because it doesn't want to experience that. Unless it wants to leave and then comes to you as a mission, which is something I did for a while. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to read the comments because we've had an amazing energy talk after our meditation. And Bart, I really appreciate you writing the word angles in there because then I get to talk about that. So you're so good at, yeah, that was great. That was great inspiration. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Kristen, I'm glad that declining the energy worked for you, how to do that practice. Laurel, I'm so glad you learned so much and hopefully are learning. I'm great. Bart, I'm so glad. Now, you had said there was something you wanted to talk about. I don't know if this is a good time or if you just want to do that one-on-one. That's okay too. But if you want to bring something up, we can do that. And then let's see. I know some people. Yeah. I was thinking of Tiamat too. That's Kristen. That's funny. You brought that up. I think that was a combination of things. I don't have direct memory of Tiamat. I just know that when I first read that word, now I'm feeling it again. I started crying. I literally tears started pouring out of my eyes. I was at a spiritual conference as well, so I was just in this higher state of being, higher energy. And yeah, that was intense. Okay. Belle. Yay. Okay, Belle, you can watch the replay if you're still here. And then I will cut the video. So I have other cut videos as well. Zazaban. The meditation was amazing. I'm so glad. I'm glad it was great. And thank you for the feedback. If there's anything else you want to say after you do the meditation again, let's hear it. Okay, so Kristen, PTSD. Whew, 2 16s there. I'm just going to evoke a space of sacred discharge imbued by the violet flame for this comment. Your son's suicide was 16 years of age and 16 years ago. I'm so sorry. Wow. That's really hard and that's intense. Energy is healing and light blessings from the pain. Yeah, that pain that you feel and the memory of that, the work that we did about being present in the heart and then bringing the light to that pain, that's what you want to do here. Now, if you want to do a session and work through that, contact me directly and we can do that. But, you've been on this journey for a long time, so I'm sure that there's much that you are doing. Now, here's what I would say. 16 is the number of the tower in the tarot. And the number of the tower, and in my view, this also represents the energy of Uranus. And Uranus is around 20 something degrees of Taurus right now. So I wonder if Uranus is giving any key aspects to other planets in your astrology chart as well. Um, and I wonder if that's up for you. It might not just be that you have a planet at that degree or a key, the sun or who knows what, but it could be a key aspect as well, or even a key asteroid, or something might be in relation with Uranus in your chart for you, but it might not be a transit aspect like where Uranus is in the sky now, but something in your chart that's being activated right now in some way, because 16 is the number of lightning striking the tower, of spiritual insight coming into the human form, and that like a lightning bolt, eureka, aha. So this is a year where you might be able to have, the 16 represents incredible transformation. You could intend and ask that this is a year where you have incredible transformation over this experience, between you and your son and your family. I mean, that we could, you could intend, and I'm praying and intending for you in the moment that this is a year of transformative healing for you. Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah. Bart, you're so on target. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening, because you and all of you in the audience, it's so key for me to have someone to share with. I've been thinking about these things for years. I'm finally having the courage and strength to come out and speak it. And I knew who you were, Bart. Do you think I can't read energy? As above, so below 7. Hey, you know what? You can watch the live stream if you were late, if you'd like to. I invite you to. And thank you for all of your engagement and your videos and engagement on Twitter. It's just really wonderful. Let's see here. Susie, you're in California. How awesome. Maybe we're neighbors. Ways to clear ancestral energy, mother, grandmother. Will the bowl help to kick it out? Yes, absolutely. Actually, that bowl is wonderful for that. I have other meditations where I've used that bowl as well. Um, if you want, um, to do that, you intend it, okay? And now here's the other thing: when you're doing the meditation, consciously invite the soul, your soul, from within the heart to step forward. The heart is your territory, okay? And this is yours. This is your earth, your ground. The living Susie sings in California. This is your territory in your heart. Claim it as such. I claim my heart for myself. I am the living incarnation of my soul. I claim my heart for my soul. In this moment, I ask my soul to fill my heart with my own love direct from soul. Every soul, that word, when I speak it, I'm speaking direct from my soul through the living body and creating words or thoughts in my mind out loud as I do this, right? I fill my heart with the love of my soul. I fill every cell in my heart with the love of my soul. Every particle of energy is of my own soul. All else moves out of my field. I do not consent to it. And I give it to the guides of the highest. I give it to Archangel Michael, the embodiment of divine will, and his angels of the highest light. I give it to my higher soul source self, to my guardian angels of the highest light, direct from source for me, direct from my soul for me, to wrap this and take it to its place of highest good, right? In alignment with its highest good. I give it to God to take care of that energy. If it needs to transform or transmute, it may do that. If it needs to be wrapped for a while to experience something with God's presence, it does that. If God unwraps it in a moment of, its highest good, it does that. This is now under the dominion of God's will, divine will. Okay, after it leaves my field. If it needs to leave the earth, it does that. Now, a lot of people send the energy back to where it came from. Okay, that's fine. But this is an upgrade to that process. Why? Because if I send the energy back and it came from a demon in the demonic realm, well, why would I want that to still be accessing me or other humans, right? Because did I cancel or clear its permission to ever contact me again? I don't want to engage with that, period. That's it. No. In the now moment, which is there is no time, right? In all moments. No. So, I give it to God's will. And the fact is a lot of this doesn't even need to be present on earth anymore. And so, then it leaves the planet. If that's in alignment with its highest good, which is God's will, right? The highest good is the will of God enacted into the created dimensions where we live, into the physical, even and the non-physical that we can engage with and that can engage with us. So that's an upgrade to that. Okay. And so, maybe you want to send your mother's energy back, but maybe in alignment with divine will, which would also be her highest good, in alignment with divine will or highest good, it might just maybe divine will needs to love on that for a while. I just allow for that possibility, but do it according to the guidance from within you that works best for you. Okay. That resonates with you in the moment, because in the moment, maybe something else is in your highest good. Fort Collins, Colorado. That's wonderful. Woohoo! That is wonderful. Lady Carolyn, thank you as well, and you're welcome. Spirit, so wonderful that you're here. You're welcome, Susie. Not a good time. Okay, yeah, on Twitter, whenever it works, if I'm on and you're on, I'm happy to, because you had asked for that. That's why I mentioned it. Okay. And yeah, no worries. Share, tour, live free. Catching you live. Missed the first part. Do you do birth charts? Yes, I do. Now, here's the thing. I'm just going to tell you, I do readings, and I have one rate for readings right now. And I do written readings, like easy written reading, and then more in-depth written reading. I call that a tree of life reading. And then I have, like I have a one-page written reading, and I have a more in-depth. And then I can't remember all the details, but if you want me to look at a particular planet or asteroid, or you have a question, in the one-page reading, we can do that. And then in the Tree of Life reading, we do a bunch of that. And then we can also meet in person to discuss it. So I have, 3 different price points for that, because I really want to offer lower price points as well because it's tough times, And I'm also going to start doing lives where I start doing readings. So I wonder if anybody's interested in doing that. Don't put any birth information here into a live chat, because this is recorded. But if you were interested in doing it live, I am going to charge, but I haven't decided how much I'm going to charge yet. But I will take donations for that. And then I'm thinking about having a members area where we can have where we can talk, and maybe even live, or we can do more talk in the chat like this. Because I need to create, I need to create that. And I need to really start being able to receive as well, and receive in terms of monetary blessings towards me. Because, that's something that for a long time, I really just worked on building my audience and getting my message out. And yeah, but here's the thing. If I want others to receive and be blessed with abundance, then I need to receive as well. And it would really help me out right now, to be honest. So I'm going to initiate those things and do it out of love, and the ability to have, some exchange that way. And, I'm really excited about it. I love doing readings, and I love doing whether it's written because I love writing or whether it's in person, it's really a joy. Okay, so has anybody got anything else to say? Da, da, da. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there we go. It would be wonderful. Good. So, you know what? Now I'm gonna put my email in, I'll put it in the comments for this. No, I'll just do it now. I'm gonna put my email in here, so if you want to, um, I don't know if you guys can actually can copy from the no, 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 that's not it. No, stop it, stop it. See, I gotta see, because I can't remember it because I'm in the zone, so I don't have as much thought activity going on. So now I have to bring my thoughts into the fourth dimension, back into the fourth dimension, and activate it in the fourth dimension, my thinking, so I can remember my email. Da, da, da. Yep. Boom. Okay. All right, you guys. It's been so wonderful being present with you today. And over the next week, I will clip this video. And I'm trying to put out, I've realized that I have three sets of viewers. I've got people who love these lives and will be on the lives with me for an extended time. I've got people who, kind of are in the 20-minute, I guess there's 4, 20-minute up to around 20 minutes is a good video length for them. I've got people who are like under 10-minute people, and then I've got people who are like 2 to 3 minutes, max. And, I myself, I'll watch when I watch people, I will watch 1-hour videos, and I'll do it in like, okay, I've got 10 minutes now. And that's what's great about YouTube, is that it remembers where you are. And that's a blessing of YouTube. I don't have to remember, like with Rumble, I have to, I used to have to remember. Now I think Rumble has started to remember where I was. Like, I don't know for sure, but it's a great thing about YouTube. It's so organized, and it shows me what videos I've watched, so I can go back and look at that. Um, and then, but I also appreciate having clips from people I really like to listen to. Like, sometimes I just want 2 minutes of something encouraging, uplifting, and inspiring. So, anyway, thanks so much for being here, you guys. My love goes out to you, and I love you all. And I truly love being present here with you and doing this work with you. So thank you so much. God bless you, and have a great day.